Here is our second checklist. It's an Is-it-a-paragraph checklist. We're often asking our learners to write something, more than one sentence. Now it could be called a paragraph, it could be called an answer in their workbook, it could be a little bit of a report, something, a few sentences on a form that they're filling in. Whatever it is, what we're aiming for as tutors is to help our writers, our learners, to write something which has some focus, some clarity, and help them with some structure so that they feel more confident when they are writing more than one sentence. This checklist can be used for those pieces of writing that are longer than one sentence, and basically it helps learners because as they're writing they can go back to, they can refer to this really simple bullet pointed checklist of Is it a paragraph? Shall we see how it works? One common error when asked to write a paragraph, for example, learners often end up writing a list of sentences. It doesn't look like a paragraph yet. So in answer to Is it a paragraph, we look back at the checklist and we see that the first bullet point is a paragraph is a group of sentences joined together, not a list. Therefore, the answer is no, this is not a paragraph yet, it is a list. The learner really just needs to join those sentences together to make them look like a paragraph. Now, number 2 example. Another common error in writing, learners start off really focused and then as they're thinking about things their minds wander off on different paths, and here they're starting saying how the shift workers are required to write a short report, and then they are wandering off into, wow, yes, shift work, wow, that's tiring, oh gosh, and pop that little idea in there. Actually, the rest of the paragraph is okay, it kind of matches back to the focus of that topic sentence, but shift work is challenging and tiring is really quite a different topic. So when you are asking your learners to refer back to the checklist, this is a key question. Is everything in your paragraph about the same topic? If there is something from another topic, for example shift work is challenging and tiring, it may be a really valid point. So the question then is to the learners, does this sentence need to be just taken out entirely, or maybe you can decide that it needs its own paragraph and we can bring that sentence out and make it into a topic sentence for a new paragraph. That's a discussion around how many points in a paragraph are really important and need to be kept there or not. Here's another paragraph, also relating to, is this paragraph about the same topic? At this point you might like to pause the recording and just take time to read through this paragraph. Alright, so I'm guessing you've had time to read this, and what you may have discovered that there are in fact 2 topics in this one paragraph, and so in answer to the question, is this a paragraph? No, it is not a paragraph because it has 2 topics. It is not about the same topic. What is the topic in fact? Well, looking above number 3, that we see that learning how to take good notes is the topic, and is worthwhile is the controlling focus of that topic. We have a second topic there, taking good notes requires good listening skills, etc. So one is about how worthwhile taking good notes is, the other is about what taking good notes requires. Two topics in one paragraph. Clearly, the second topic here, taking good notes requires, is probably a pretty good option to make into a second paragraph. Take a minute now to pause the recording and just reread this slide before we move on. Okay, now moving on to a fourth and fifth example. Here we have two paragraphs, and one is longer, one is shorter. One is not indented and one is indented. Indented, you can see in the example 5, note taking is moved slightly across to the right. That is one form of indenting a paragraph. So, we're asking ourselves, is paragraph 4 a paragraph? What about paragraph 5? Is it a paragraph? And the answer is yes. Paragraphs, let's do the checklist. Both of those are groups of sentences joined together. They're not lists. Both of those, if you've had time to read them, or you may need to pause the slide presentation, both of them are about the same topic. And they're indented differently, but paragraphs can be indented differently, so yes, both are paragraphs, that's okay, and one is long, one is short, they're still paragraphs. Interesting that just those 4 bullet points can be such a really good reference for learners to check if they're on the right path. Notice that in example 4 we have controlling focus A as a valuable skill, controlling focus B. There are note-taking strategies we can all use. These ideas are closely linked enough to be in the same paragraph. This is a discussion to be had with learners, because in the previous example, number 3, those 2 points about note-taking being worthwhile and note-taking what it requires, they really are a little bit different and need to have their own separate paragraphs. But for number 4, both of these are closely enough linked that they can be in the same paragraph. These are good discussions to have with your learners. Alright, either take a bit of time to pause the recording just to read that slide, otherwise we will continue. So to summarize, we have a checklist for what is a paragraph. That checklist is 4 bullet points, and they are points of reference for learners either as they're writing their own work, or if you have highlighted something that is not correct in their writing and you're returning their work. Either way, learners using this checklist are starting to see that just a few things, not overwhelming I think, just a few things can be changed in order to bring greater focus and clarity to their paragraphs, to their answers and workbooks, and to any kind of writing that they're doing which has more than one sentence.